But, speaking of DJing, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the George.Daniel podcast. I am your host, George.Daniel.
And I'm Ashley.
Shout out. And do you want to introduce yourself? Introduce yourself to the world?
I'm the Archduke not fan, fuck, I fucked it up. I normally say George Costanza, but today I'm going to be Neil Flippin, formerly known as the DJ FLPN or Flippin, and it's an honor to be here.
Dude, no, we're happy you're here, dude. This was Ashley's booking. So this was like a first for us, which is sick because this is my first time meeting you.
You guys have never met before?
Never met. I mean, maybe we were in the same room,
Hey, man, let me just shake your hand.
Dude, yeah. I was going to reach with this one, but I was going to knock everything over.
That's okay. I like the foreign stranger. That's fine.
But, yeah. So, okay, we were talking earlier. You have some shows coming up. You got, you're moving around. You guys got your collective and everything else. But let's just kind of give us the backstory first. It's like, who you are and what kind of brought you into this world of EDM?
Well, it's 7 years ago. I was tired of building log cabins.
Many moons ago.
I was tired of freeing those damn slaves. I'm joking, no. We're making jokes today, people. No.
Comedy!
So it really starts off when I was a kid. I've been fortunate enough to be kind of around music, not directly or like one of those awkward music kids that go to band camp and do lewd things. I wish I did that, but no, I just had really cool parents. I was born here in Menlo Park, and then from 1 to 5, I lived in Milpitas, so not too far away from here.
Yeah.
My dad played the trombone, and he listened and played a lot of jazz. For me and my older brother, and my mom, she played a lot of soul, and my parents partied in the 80s, so they actually know good music. So, growing up in, I was born in 93, so the early 90s to mid 90s to now, it's been a fortunate, cornucopia of really tasteful music, actual musicians, understanding composition, let alone kind of, I think, which was maybe peak music in the past couple of decades was the late 90s, mid 90s. From hip-hop, you had the Soulquarians, which were well into. You had acid jazz. You had excellent pop music like Britney Spears and this or that. Yeah. You had Nirvana. And, my parents weren't haters, so we got to listen to a little bit of everything, but still had an ear for, obviously, black people's music. So, a lot of soul, a lot of disco, actual jazz, contemporary jazz, fusion jazz. Jazz. And so as you can imagine, for me, I think it focused down to kind of two instruments, the drums and the bass. And then growing up in the mid to early 90s to 2000s, I think I was able to kind of catch which was the initial peak of drum and bass in this country itself.
Right. And
from the year 2000 to right now, I think I really was a drum and bass head for the longest. And by drum and bass, I mean, not whatever.
But not a wook, right?
No, actual drum and bass. And then,
we love wook.
Boom, boom, boom.
Let me raise my pinky.
No, I feel it, though.
But I mean, LTJ Bookham, I mean, Goldie, I mean, so many great people from the UK, right. Caliber, even from the US side. My favorite person, shout out to Nikolai Bordakov, a.k.a. Calculon. He's out in SD. I was listening to him playing on KUSF when I was 6. He was probably a 20-something, and that man, and also big shout-outs to DJ Stun in Chicago. Those two are magicians.
Yeah.
Time-traveling magicians who are able to put out fluid, liquid sounds that are fucking timeless. And because of that, I think it's kind of allowed me to have enough courage to be who I am today musically. When I play, at least when I DJ when I put out music when I DJ, I don't put out music yet, but when I play as a DJ, because my biggest influence is what is fluid, what is progressive, what's not afraid to be heavy, but also what's not afraid to kind of take you there. Because, as a DJ, you have your build-ups, you have your drops, and up and down and up and down. Mm-hmm. But what I feel like a lot of music lacks today are kind of vocals and soul and like meaning to it. And from the 2000s, you know, we had hip hop and R&B, which got us there, and we had some pop music. But now I feel like, you know, kind of zooming out, and we'll zoom back into EDM industry, but zooming out, music as a whole is kind of like a husk. You know, it's a corporate husk that sells you singles and that sells you whatever. But, you know, there's no music, there's nothing that makes you want to dance and feel good about it.
Right. Unless it's like a 30-second clip for TikTok or whatever it is.
And even so, it's so sampled. And, you know, getting back to my music background, I listened to a lot of True School, a lot of underground hip hop in the 2000s. And, you know, it's its own conversation by itself. But there's almost an art form to it, you know, like.
Yeah. No, yeah. I think there's a art. It's weird because I have a bunch of homies who love music, right? Mm-hmm. But they don't do anything in the music industry. But there is an art to being a fan.
There is.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
And that's how I got started. I curated maybe 10, almost 15 years of just playlists on SoundCloud before I started to DJ itself.
Yeah.
I was a roadie. I listened to my homies play. What song is that, bro? Oh, that's fucking dope. Oh, this is that person. I saved that.
Yeah.
And, you know, I know we're not sponsored by SoundCloud. And SoundCloud, don't sue us, but I love you.
But also be a sponsor. Also sponsor. SoundCloud, you know, we out here.
If SoundCloud was a beautiful woman who I could fall in love with, SoundCloud can have my children, you know?
Yeah.
Like, literally, SoundCloud is such a great tool. And it's such a good platform for producers and DJs and artists. And, you know, I know there's the sad boy rap era and a lot of funny things about SoundCloud. And I also know it's not always the best place to put up a mix. But if you're an aspiring anything with music and you just want to understand what is expression, SoundCloud is number one because you're going to find the best unheard and unrecognized but fruitful labors of love that you can put out there, let alone me as a DJ. I can say, let's listen to this and see how their algorithm curate things. That's similar. That's 5 songs.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm doing lazy DJing, that's like half a set right there.
Right.
You know.
And like, what I like, just touch base on SoundCloud in general, what I love about it is that it makes it easy to discover new people.
Exactly.
It
makes it so easy. You know, like, dude, like, on your, like, recommended, like, daily playlist alone, you'll find a song that only has, like, 23, like, listens. And you're like, what the fuck? This person deserves the world, you know?
Yeah,
what the fuck? Like, why is no one checking this person?
Why don't you have more songs that I can download?
Exactly, you know?
Send me songs.
Literally, oh, dude, I stay DMing artists on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, SoundCloud is definitely, for any... If you're a fan of music, like, the unfortunate part, what SoundCloud reminds me of a little bit is what, like, OnlyFans was for a second, where it became, like, the sad boy rap, you know? And then, like, it was that hyper focus as to, like, oh, you're a SoundCloud rapper. Or if not, it went from, like if you're a DJ, we call it a bedroom DJ, but you're a SoundCloud DJ.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we just call it a bedroom DJ because you're not playing your sets out. Mm-hmm. But you're putting all your mixes on SoundCloud, you know?
But you know what? You know, some people like to gatekeep. I break gates. I'm like a gate breaker, you know? Like, yeah, you might talk crap about SoundCloud, but to get in these record pools, it's kind of crazy. I'm not talking about, like, Club Killers or whatever. Like, some of these other record pools I heard of, it's like a secret password. You have to fill out this test.
Yeah.
Half of it is legally ripped anyway. And I'm just like, I can literally go on SoundCloud. I can go to HyperEdit. I don't care if I follow the person, you know, because it builds my social media. Oh, you're connected with this DJ and that DJ. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, metadata, it kind of sucks, but it's a lot better than illegal handshakes and ripping music when, like, half the SoundCloud music you want, it's like, it's already very free.
It just sounds like shit in general to rip it, you know?
Yeah, you know, and if the person's going to give you a free link anyway, I'm just like, yeah, it's a great way to support the tools.
Are willing to, like, give you, they want people to listen to their music.
They want people to play it.
Yeah.
So
the more views, the more listens, the better.
For anyone, right? And especially if you're, like that's what makes the community of SoundCloud, and also just in general, just, like, music, like, if you're not willing to share it, or if you're not willing to put yourself out there, then no one's gonna listen to it, right? But also like if you're willing to share it, then you're also like it. Like me as a fan, like it makes me feel like, oh, like you don't care about the monetization, you care about your art, and that to me makes me a bigger fan of you than like just because you got placement on a good playlist, you know, like that to me doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you're gonna end up being kind of annoying if you're on those playlists. You know, if I hear you over and over again, but if I find you, I feel like, oh, I discovered this person. I discovered them, and it's just like, no, this person has like 15,000 followers already, but like regardless, like it feels like you found them. It's like us going to the record shops and digging through the crates. We don't dig through crates because we don't have them. Like we're not like maybe back in the day, like
15 years ago, I would say, you know.
I grew up in Mountain View, and Mountain View had Rasputin.
Yep, we had about two. It's Stanley Andrew. That was my closest Rasputin records.
And like I took it for granted. I didn't realize what it was. And especially being 3 blocks away from my house.
And how long ago was that? They were so much cheaper.
Dude, it was crazy. And like I would go in there and all I do is buy posters. Not realizing like I should be actually digging through crates, you know?
They had good shirts. Dude, they had really good shirts.
Just merch in general, right?
Yeah, there's the posters, all the Gorillaz CDs, all the Little Brother albums, and looking for their mixtapes and this or that. You know, and that's a good point you brought out. It really is like the virtual Rasputin's music store, and for our listeners and watchers out there, you know, Rasputin's was a magical place in like the 2000s and 90s. It was like an offshoot of Amoeba Records. If you know anything about music, then Amoeba is up there.
Yeah.
Rasputin's kind of like our local brand here in the Bay Area. They had a store in San Francisco and Oakland and major cities. But, you know, you go in there, you felt really cool. You know, you'd see nothing but CDs and albums and records in the back itself.
VHS too.
VHS.
Everything. Yeah, it's crazy. And then you like, I mean, at least the one in Mountain View, like, if you were cool with people, like the employees there, and like you'd be like, hey, do you have anything like in the back? Like they'll actually take you to the back, like like that they haven't put out or whatever. Like they were like, oh, and like just to let you know, next week, like this person's coming, and this person's coming. You're like, oh shit, okay, I'm gonna come back next week. I'm gonna save up like the $14 for a CD, you know, or whatever the fuck. And yeah, just kind of like vibe out, but like. We don't have that anymore, like physically.
Well,
right?
you know, there's almost, like you said, there's an art form of being a fan, and this is definitely one of those major schools was physical media, because when you have the CDs and the records, the DVDs, you know, the illegal ghetto movies you can only get at Rasputin Records or whatever, you know, I'm not endorsing hoarding culture, but having something that's tangible, that belongs to you, and that is an experience for an hour. It's a timeless experience, and unfortunately, for so many reasons, you know, it's hard to be a physical media stan today.
Do you know what I think of when you say that? Is like everyone downloads everything. Cars now are in 2030 or something like that. They're all going to have to be electric. So, have you guys seen the movie I Am Legend?
Yeah.
Okay. He couldn't watch anything on the TV, so what happens during the zombie apocalypse?
Oh, yeah.
We don't have any DVD.
Load up your terabytes of hard drives now.
Yeah, no, literally, it's crazy to think about. Like it's hard. The thing that sucks about being a fan of anything, right? It's like trying to evolve with the times while also trying to be a fan. Right? It's hard to be it feels weird to say I'm a fan of someone if you haven't never seen an album or a poster or seen them live, right?
Yeah.
So you're just like, you almost feel weird saying like, oh, have you heard of this person? Like they're not out anywhere outside of like SoundCloud, Bandcamp, maybe a Spotify that they only have 3 songs on because those are the only ones that are cleared for them to be able to like put up. And like it's different. Like it used to be like you would have to go to open mics to see these artists that would be on SoundCloud, or you would have to go to these smaller like
just free shows at bars.
Free shows and stuff, you know, like those were the people who were putting stuff on SoundCloud.
Which those people are great, and it's the most amazing thing. I think I saw Odessa like that, like way back when. It was like $10.
Dude, that's
The
crazy.
first time, it was like the mezzanine or something like that, and I think it was a free show.
Yeah.
And then I paid $10 for the after show at 10:15, and it was like you cannot. I think I paid like $200 for one ticket a couple years ago to go see Odessa.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Well, that also like is a testament to like the fans, right? Like how we once you like.
Are you a
put some-
bandwagoner? Or...
Me?
No,
Oh,
not
no,
you,
just
no,
in general.
but, like,
In general,
yeah.
I was like, me.
He's all like,
The gauntlet's been
I've
thrown.
been there. I've been there.
I know them.
But like, no, it was just like yeah, it's like as being a fan. Like with you saying like gatekeeping, right? Like we want to say like I mentioned earlier, like I discovered them. You know, that feeling of discovery is fun, but it's also the being able to take someone to a show is so much more gratifying.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it's the
Showing-
experience.
yeah, the
That's also a love
experience.
language.
You're not, you know, hey. There's other people in the room, by the way. But
That's a hint.
but no, it's just like yeah, like it's being a fan and being a DJ or whatever. We are all have different experiences. Us and are kind of more similar, being that we are trying to DJ and be artists. You as like an event coordinator, photographer, and fan, it looks different, a little more different from you.
Yes,
Eventually, you're gonna start DJing. I know that for a fact because we're gonna put you on.
What?
No, we're throwing her on shows. Whether she knows it or not, she's gonna look it up
Sound
live.
effect. Bum, 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 bum.
She's gonna
One
look
day
at
I
a
will
flyer.
hop on.
No, you're gonna look at a flyer and your name's gonna be on there regardless if you knew or not.
You're
me
coming, right?
I'm gonna do like your voicemail. DJ Ashley on the ones and twos.
What would be your
DJ
name?
Cash.
DJ Ash?
Cash.
Cash.
Because I make money.
Ooh.
Hey.
All right.
You gotta get like the little dollar gun with like Monopoly money. Yeah.
Yeah, make it rain.
Yes, that'd be
Yeah,
so cool. They
dude.
sell those at Spencer's.
Hint.
Tune in next
Christmas.
week. Next thing you know, I'm just like showering.
December
That's-
I'm gonna be
25th.
behind you, Spain.
Hint.
That's hella funny.
Oh
But
my
no,
God.
that's sick. And like to kind of go back to your background of like it with how you were brought up listening to jazz and all these like what you were saying like real instruments, right? I have kind of like gone back and listened to like more like Mexican music, whether that be banda, corridos,
real
or whatever,
instruments.
and it's real instruments.
It's
so
real instruments.
You know what I mean?
good.
And like that, like it tickles my fancy. You know, it like like it just really it hits the soul differently. It hits the eardrums differently. Like when you hear an actual guitar or actually hear horns or actually hear like percussion being played in real time, it sounds different from an 808. Like an 808 is always gonna knock. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But like hearing your car rattle while listening to trumpets is insane.
Oh yeah.
You know, like that feeling is just so fucking different, and like I don't know if like a lot of people have that same like way of thinking about it.
I feel like I do at least.
No, but I mean for sure. But once again, it probably goes back to like how you grew up, right? Like so
Well,
most people.
Fun fact. I was in music class when I lived in Texas. I mean, I took music all throughout school. But in Texas, I took a music class and I tried to play trumpet, but I played it for like 2 months and then I had to stop because my asthma was so bad.
That's the saddest story ever.
All right, baby lungs. Just mid song.
Literally, dude. They were like,
Ashley,
you're not
you're
cutting
fine.
it.
You passed the class.
Yeah.
Just don't go to the nurse again.
She tried. You know.
I was like, okay, can I play the clarinet? And they're like, can you stop choosing instruments that you have to blow into?
But you can play the triangle.
They gave me the violin. I play all the string instruments.
Dude, violin is so
viola,
sick.
cholo,
Whoa.
cello, and the bass.
Yeah.
Zinger.
Sheesh.
But no,
Is someone's phone vibrating on the table? Is that your phone?
Maybe.
It's like really coming through on the mic.
Sorry.
Probably don't put it on the table.
but yeah, it's just like like live music. My favorite thing to watch on YouTube are Tiny Desk.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like as a
Tiny Dancer
fan,
is great.
like as a fan, you're like, oh shit, they're breaking it down to its simplicity, like it down to like its basic form of whatever it is, plus the vocals. Like the vocals are raw and like there and like something like pause, but like raw shit. Like like getting hit by something raw and like with like real emotion. Like
Oh my god.
Hey yo. Hey yo.
You know what I mean? Like it just hits different. Pause, but like it just does. Like I love going. Brass Tracks is one of my favorite. Artists
yeah.
because they use not just the CDJs, but they use also like the lights and visuals and the actual brass of it all. Like that to me like is music. Like if there's no real, I used to think that like DJing and EDM was just like it's easy, you know. It is hard. Don't get me wrong. I understand there's a process and everything else, but like everything came from Beethoven and everything else with real music. And like if you don't know the structure of everything, then you can kind of get lost trying to be a producer, trying to be an EDM DJ or whatever. Like it is hard. If you don't get the fundamentals of like real, like even just country music. Country music is very basic for the most part. It's just a guitar, but so is corridos, so is banda, so is like, and it's just like, it is basic. It's the same tempo, it's the same, like,
I took that for granted for so long because I don't like country music, but now I try to just appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They put work into it.
Well,
Everybody
also, if you like think about it, like right now, like some of the biggest artists in the world 2 years ago were DJs, producers, and pop stars. Mm-hmm. And like now it's like in country there's like the number one streaming artist in the world right now is a country artist. It's not Bad Bunny, it's not Drake, it's a country artist. Whether that be on that white shit or whatever the fuck, but like regardless, like I think the it's like bringing it back to the basics. Mm-hmm. Right now everything's at 140 plus in BPM and like it's fun. It's so much fun. But like going down to like if your BPM is at 90 to 105, all of a sudden that hits different. You know, it's I don't know, sonically anyways, for me.
And like comparison wise too, it's kind of like I feel like especially today as a producer and DJ, and it's tough because there's even zooming out from that, there's two schools. You're gonna play commercially viable music, so you can play at the temples or this or that. You're gonna play underground music, which every wook is gonna love, and you'll play at the best festival and no one's ever heard of itself. And then zooming in a little bit here, if you're on more of a commercial viable track, which I'm trying to go for to an extent, I'm not afraid of underground music, but as someone who's been a roadie and seen a difference of DJs and producers who said, hey, I want to go mainstream and I want to play these big clubs and festivals. We do that, and that's great for them. And I've ever seen people like, yeah, I want to make my own music, my own style, and stick around in this little corner of Phoenix, Arizona. Shout out to my homie, my bro, Cormac, not with the K, with the C, Cormac. He's a great guy. He was like a bro, but now he makes super hipster music, like really good house music. But, it's not esoteric. It's commercially viable, but just like we're talking about before, he's in this fish pond, which is great. Right. It's getting bigger. Right. But if you choose to be a bigger fish in a bigger body of water, I don't know, like I said, I talk a lot. At least in like today, I feel like there's almost two paths. You're gonna go with I don't know how it came back. It's like the Empire Strikes Back. You're gonna go with techno, which is, in my opinion, good, but I'm learning to like it more. It's not really my cup of tea, but I'm learning to like it.
I love techno.
Like, I like the idea of it.
I like the idea of it, but
I love the idea of it.
Like, for example, I had this show at Monarch in, like, past week or two. And I was playing tech house, and I was playing reworks, the 90s, 2000s R&B, and shit that people know. Oh, this is fun. I know Pitbull, I know Beyonce. But this is tech house and bangers, and like it's thumping, like it's aggressive, but it's fun, you know. But I'm able to sing along with it. I'm able to dance with it.
Right.
But it was, besides that, it was like 9 hours. Not 9 hours. But it felt like 9 hours.
Damn, all right. Fucking
No,
out here, dude, DJing like Gordo and shit, you know?
Yeah, literally.
I mean, it was 9 hours. I got 10,000 steps. That's like 17 miles or whatever the fuck he said on his post. We all saw the post.
But like, it was, everyone else is playing fucking techno, bro. I'm like, man, this is great techno music, but like, only one person plays it. And every person's playing fucking techno, and I get the headliner is like some techno person. I'm like we gotta have some variation here.
Yeah, for sure.
That's been
For
my
sure.
biggest. That's been my biggest thing, which is why I stopped throwing my own events. Was like being like I'm shoeboxing myself by throwing an event in the sense of like the lineup determines the vibe.
Exactly.
Which I kind of hate because back in the day, just throwing a party, the party was the vibe, and then the music was an add-on.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And like now we're kind of losing that, and that kind of sucks.
Oh yeah, and I went to a party school. I went to ASU.
Okay.
You know, I'm a fun devil, as I would say. You know.
That's hella funny. I've heard that plenty of times with people who've dropped out.
Yeah. Mama, I made it. But like, you know, when I wasn't chanting back out or blackout or come on bro, do a Vitali 3-pointer. And
Oh my God.
for our listeners and viewers, Vitali is like the worst plastic bottle, like vodka. It's literally like battery acid. Yeah. So you have to take 3 shots of that and then chug a beer and then play like beer pong with 1 cup. And if you lose, you gotta take like another. It's really bad. Don't do it.
But that's like, dude, honestly, like a college. I didn't go to college at all. Like I went to community college, but that doesn't count at all.
Yes,
it does.
It does.
I mean,
count.
sure, but like in the experience wise, that doesn't count because if I'm going to Cupertino and I live in Mountain View,
as someone who went to a party school, let me pop a lot of balloons. Everything is true, but the reality of it is, if you're coming from a working class background or you're of means,
but I'm saying the experience, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying though. That experience. You're always going to have that opportunity to have the experience. You just be around fun people who trust each other and know each other's limits, who have each other's back. And that's a college experience. You don't need to drop like 40 bands at the party of some like future senator's fuck up kid, you know? Like,
yeah.
Like, literally just get your homies, go to a music festival, go to shitty nights if you're not 21. Just have a good environment, you know, take some mushrooms, smoke some weed. You know, keep it California sober, and you're gonna have a great time.
Yeah,
you know?
There we go, California sober.
Yeah,
I think you mean though, like the frat party scene.
No, I think
like that,
what I mean is you grew up here in the Bay Area, and then you moved.
I moved for college. Yeah,
you know what I mean. That experience, on top of the experience of going to college, is a different experience.
But like a lot of us stayed home. I'm here to break that gate. You know, I'm not here to break
No. But the thing is, like, the thing is that is cool about you is what I'm saying is like you are bringing that experience with your personality or what you bring, right? You know, like I personally have like a very like kind of like a local mindset. In the sense of like with you started in Menlo Park, moved to Milpitas, and then now
I moved to like Castro Valley and San Leandro, and then
on top of moving to a different state and doing everything, right? But so like, you have a perspective that a lot of people may not have.
But to give you a perspective on that perspective, I'm sorry, I go balls deep. Pause.
Hey, it's fine. I'll take it. Pause.
I don't stop until I feel the donut, okay? Literally. All I'm saying is give you perspective as someone who's moved around and come back and, like you're saying, having that, leaving home and starting fresh. You know, it's great if it works out, but you're going to deal with a lot of nonsense. And
for sure,
people at home aren't preparing you for that and save everyone a lot of headache. If you can do it, you want to grow as an individual, travel is best. And moving is good, but moving is best when it's planned out. You have contacts and you have a safety net, because I didn't have those things. I dealt with a lot of unnecessary nonsense.
Right.
I'm not encouraging people to stay in their shells or their bubbles or their towns, but all I'm saying is just like of all good things in life, as exciting as it is, you know, trust but verify, do your research, make sure it's the best fit for you. And if it's not, so stack up your money and do it when you're ready. Because doing it as an 18-year-old who's not an adult and has to deal with other people because he was raised to be a team player and, unfortunately attracting a lot of not good people because he's a solid person. I just want to say, if everyone who's listening out here have a headache, it's fun, it's cool. Do it if you're planned out. Do it with solid people. If you don't have solid people, meet people and adventure. Like, say if you want to have the ASU Park experience, just go to ASU at homecoming.
Yeah,
Literally,
no, that's what I did. I went to Delftopia. I went to these festivals. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, that was my experience while I was going to
that's what
college.
I recommend, because you don't have to, fetishize. It's kind of fucked too, because like when we're coming up, I'm like 30, right?
Yeah.
There's all these like National Lampoon movies, and especially if you're a dude, like, oh man, this loser kid, he's seeing tits and ass, and he looks just like me.
Right.
I want to go to a state school. I want to go to a party school. And it's great at selling, but the reality of it is you're gonna deal with a lot of other people's vomit and not passing classes and figuring out ways to like not flunk out. So just to put a cap on it, it's cool. But you can do it from afar.
For sure. That's me. From afar, like, dude, I'm the king of visiting my homies.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
visit your homies.
You pay for the dorm. You pay for the whatever it is.
I'm gonna go visit.
I'm gonna go visit you for like 3 days, and I'm gonna pull up and like you're struggling. Like, I'll pay. Like, they're struggling just getting food. But I'm like, I'll pay for it all.
Exactly.
That's
a win-win situation.
Oh, you want McDonald's? Let's go, dude. We'll get 60 McNuggets.
$60 worth of McDonald's. $80
dude.
worth
That
of
ain't
McDonald's.
shit comparative to
and
like
you're becoming the king of the campus. Oh shit! When is George coming? He's the homie.
Like that was my mentality. Was just like I've never been the person to maybe kick the door open, but I'm the one who has his foot sticking out so the door will never close.
Exactly.
Like, I may not be the person who fucking goes to college and like invites everyone else, but I'm the one who's like, oh no, but I know these people like each other, blah blah blah. If I pull up, I can bring these people over, and then like and like now it's like a vibe.
Yeah.
That's one good thing that I learned. Like when I went to De Anza and we went to Paris and stuff, I'm still friends with a good amount of the people that I went to Paris with.
Right.
So, like,
but that's probably I think we're like, my point was with using that example was the whole experience, right? The experience of like, you were a local person technically going to like De Anza, but you had this experience with a small group of people
where I went
when you went out, right? So it's kind of the same as like going to college
and being in a fraternity or sorority.
Not even having to do anything with a fraternity, but just like meet like the 5 or 6 people that you call your friends while you're anywhere.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah.
If we're gonna be completely honest, you're only gonna have 5 or 6 people
really
that you're
do.
like connect.
Yeah.
Right.
Like when I was in school, I didn't have money to pay for this fucking fraternity, so I started my own like fake fraternity. Yeah. We called it KV, and I apologize for language. Kappa Vagina,
Yeah. Out here slanging puss, we out
here. Exactly. We do nothing but lay pipe,
Oh my gosh.
But like that, it's literally me, like 2 native dudes, our friend from Georgia, the country, not the state, the country. My best friend Julio, he's like Mexican Hank Hill. He has like the high top, the pointy hair, and all that shit. Yeah. Shout out to him. He's a silly dude, but he's cool.
That's so funny.
And like our weird friend Eli, I never liked him. I try to be cool with him. He was a dick.
You hear that, Eli?
Yeah, you son of a bitch.
That's hella funny. Like, every group has that one friend.
Yeah,
like
super mad.
Dude.
Damn, I hope I'm not that friend.
I Stairs in silence.
I could be. Yeah. I could be, because there's a few
but
groups.
That's hella funny, because like I was watching like a stand-up comic like do his like his crowd work, right? And then he points at a group of girls who there's 4 of them, right? And then 3 of them are like chit-chatting, like laughing amongst each other, while one is kind of like just being a sourpuss. And he points out, he's like, you three probably have a group chat without her.
Yeah.
And then they just all looked at each other, and the girl who's not in the group chat just walks out. Because it's like, yeah,
okay, you crybaby, make it like way worse.
But also, it was just like, it just sucks. It sucks to be called out.
Oh, sorry.
No, it just sucks. No. I mean, yeah, it sucks to be hurt, but like, also it just sucks to like be called out, and then like your friends like being like, or who you think are your friends being like,
but you know what,
girl, you know we only have you because you got the sugar daddy, you know, like we're only hanging out with you because we know we're gonna get bottle service when we're here with you.
And you know what? Let's put out a PSA. double-edged sword, still not your favorite singled out person. Either like be nicer, or if people are taking advantage of you and you're like that, they're not your people.
Yeah, go find
For
other
sure.
people. Holy crap.
I think all of us in this room, we all have like different experiences, but we all have similar experiences within those experiences. I'm saying experiences way too much.
Experience.
Experience.
But like it's just like one of those things where, regardless if you're at ASU, regardless if you're back home and we graduated and we're at this age, we only are going to connect with the like 4 or 5 people in our crew, right? We're all in different collectives, but we all run in the same group.
We're all in the same scene
umbrella.
itself.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you know what I mean? And it's one of those, it's just funny to like talk about it. You know,
Yeah,
and like actually break it down.
And kind of get into that too, you know. It's funny, like I would say we're like the class, you know.
I say that all the time.
We're like all in the same class.
I don't care if you're like 38. To me, we're in the same high school group.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
I don't ask age because I don't care. I'm still hitting your bag. I'm still doing this. I'm doing that. I'm
Yeah.
like, you know, like we're all running around amongst the same shit.
Keep
you
your
know?
bag secured.
You know?
If you see George, tell him you're out, okay? Say, sorry, I got robbed by Han. I don't have anything, man.
Yeah, you know, it's just one of those things where you're just like, it's fun to like kind of forget everything else. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but like it's almost like we were back in kindergarten.
Yeah.
When you're like, oh, we're all kids. You know, like
Really are.
we still are. I feel like a lot of people who like have artistic goals still have a lot of innocence within themselves that I wish and I hope that they never lose.
Maybe not innocence, but I would say the ability to purify. Because I know a lot of good DJs who are just not good people. I'm not saying they're not innocent or had innocence or whatever, but I think which is why music is always a great equalizer. You know, it's like a healing frequency. And that healing frequency happens to be at 129 BPM. And it's from a great Brazilian producer. And, like, it's making everyone going crazy. But it's... Shout out to Verk. But I'm just shout outs today. But seriously, though. Like, you know, music has always been, like, a great equalizer. Because I've met a lot of great people who start out as fans like us. Like, my homegirl, one of my best friends, British, down in L.A., Brittany Oldham, you know. She just loved the music that much. She's like, I want to learn how to DJ. She talked to our homie, Marcus. And by our homie, talked about me and my good friend, Matt Meyer, who's up there on the scene. His class started maybe, like, at least in SF 2017 when I got done with school. I was kind of his roadie from ASU when we first started DJing to, like, maybe a couple years ago before I started to start my own stuff. But, like, you know, music has always been the ability to take people with different backgrounds and different beliefs and just saying, look, I don't care about left or right or whatever, weed or Colombian snow, you know. I'm just here to have a good time and vibe out. And
Right.
I feel like I'm appreciative I have that ability to, as a DJ, to bring that to people who just want to dance and have fun.
I feel like for you saying that, though, the innocence, I can totally resonate with that because I feel like when we were younger, right, we had all this time to just be ourselves and be artistic, and like our parents really believed in us when we were younger. Dude, and they gave us like so many opportunities, you know, right?
Like as you were saying that, it was weird to say it out loud.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But like, dude, just like even if you only have one parent, or not even a parent, a teacher who like believes in you.
Oh yeah.
Like to say that like, oh, someone saw something in me and saying it out loud is weird.
Yeah, because it's
manifesting
not very
is real.
often.
But it feels like
yeah.
it feels like you're bragging. You know what I mean?
It does, and I think that's
like,
us
so
though,
weird.
coming from where we came
Yeah,
from.
But
yeah,
you know,
you're right,
that's
you're
the
right.
power of affirmations because it starts off, you know.
I'm learning that.
Exactly.
It's hard.
Yeah, and
we've been conditioned not to. We've been conditioned to go to work, get married, get divorced, go into debt, and die. You know,
Yeah.
You should eat,
I don't
shit,
wanna die.
fuck, love.
You should.
But you should affirm, like, I'm going to take a really good shit today.
Yeah.
I'm going to feel so good.
Dude,
that,
honestly,
that broccoli and kale
love that.
is leaving my body.
Love that.
I'm making room for something terrible, you know.
Yeah. But no, it's true though. It's true because like I feel like sometimes like we do like on a day-to-day we always have the option of doing something, regardless if it's throwing away the trash, playing a set, or being the person that we want to be. Mm-hmm. At any level, we have an option of how we feel while we do it. Yeah. And a lot of the time, sometimes even I'll even put it on myself, or like sometimes doing this podcast, I don't feel like doing it. You know, like I'm just not at my best. I go for you maybe who doesn't know me, like I go to therapy. I have my own shit. I have a fuck ton of depression.
Also goes to therapy. Also has a fuck ton of depression.
Especially
affirmations.
Right now.
We're gate breaking today.
That's been my biggest thing. I think that was my biggest thing with this podcast was I've always had these conversations with people one-on-one, individually, in person, whatever. But being able to say it out loud on a mic in a public forum, essentially, like it just hits differently. You know, I've had people, randoms, hit me up and been like, "Oh, dude, I felt that." The other shit you said, I don't know. But this one point, like, you know, was like,
hey, yo.
You know, but like, it's just like, it's one of those things where it like, with this one form of content or like expression, I have the same experience, whether that be playing soccer, being a DJ, or whatever, or throwing my own events. Like, I still get the same random people being like, "Thank you for this." Like, the thank you is like the acknowledgement and the affirmation of being like, "Oh, okay, this is bigger than just what I felt or like who I think I am."
It's affecting other people.
Oh,
Exactly.
Yeah. It's the universe saying, "You're doing a good job. Keep going." You know.
Right. So like, and like with that said, right, like you're part of a collective, and like you guys have a show on the 23rd. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, you know, it's gonna be me, Mick Jagger, Too Short, E40.
Shout out the homies,
Lil
you know,
Rob,
some light, you know.
D-Lo, DB the General. I'm joking now, but DB the General, come to my show.
Pull up.
No, so it's gonna be me, my homie Rerun, and
You can sit back. You're fine.
oh, sorry. Me and the homie Rerun in Defiance. We're gonna be playing in San Jose, doing a little side patio, kind of working with the city of San Jose as they kind of put under like, you know, holiday events and this or that. So
Where is it again?
Somewhere in, I'm not a San Jose person, but it's on my Instagram.
It's gonna be
It's
in downtown.
in
We'll see
San
the
Jose.
flyers right here. But yeah, no, that's fucking sick. Cause like I think the difference. There's a lot of collectives doing stuff in San Jose for sure. That's not new. But working alongside with the city and or the college brings a different platform.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like it's not like clubs and bars, they don't put the same marketing aspect to it, or they're just so hyper focused on themselves that they're like, I expect you to bring these people.
Well, it's funny you say that because, like, gosh, I almost wish I had a time machine to where you could just DJ in, like, 2008 when you still had promoters, you know?
Yeah.
I talked to these bar owners and I talked to these other, you know, event promoters and this or that. And, you know, at least in SF and probably throughout the East Bay and South Bay, too, this is like when a paradigm shift, you know? Mm-hmm. Before, our job was to play the music, maybe bring a couple people.
Now your job is everything.
Everything.
I hate that. I grew up wanting to be an A&R. Mm-hmm. Like, that's what, like, that to me, like, I wanted to be Illusion. I wanted to be these people. I wanted to be a DJ Khaled. I really genuinely do want to, because that isn't.
Not DJ Khaled, though.
But you know what I mean? But like that.
He's the best.
Yeah, but it's in the sense of like, oh, I'm going to bring this producer, this rapper, and this person, and then I'm going to do the promo. Mm-hmm. And like they just they have their own notoriety and they're gonna bring their own fans and their own whatever, their own flavor to everything. But at the end of the day, it's like, but I put you here to make this dish, right? Like I brought these people in together in order to like fill and like and make the others experience what you have.
Oh, yeah.
Which kind of ties into, like, what you were saying with, like, everyone on a lineup playing the same thing. It's kind of boring.
But you know what? It's tough. And, you know, and like I said, my school of thought is you can go underground, you can go commercially viable stuff. But if you're doing commercially viable stuff, it's like, whenever I tell myself, oh crap, the link cable's not working, oh crap, I lost 15 minutes because the other DJ is having issues turning off his laptop, I'm like, stick with the plan. And if you're a DJ, you know what works and what doesn't work.
Right.
And it's kind of hard to tell someone, hey, Dusty Cloud, this great techno guy is going to be playing music. Well, I want to warm up for him. I want people to get excited. They came here for techno.
Right.
So I'm going to play techno. But,
right.
Unless you're, I would say, unless you're like a general EDM person who likes to go to things, like, yeah, I like this and like that, this or that. If you're like a bass girly, or if you're like a D&B person like me, or like whatever, it's hard to go to things that aren't purely that itself. And unfortunately, as a DJ who plays commercially viable music, you have to play the music people want to come there for.
Right.
Well, and you have to go to the shows.
Personally, I've had this argument as an opener, where I'm like, you asked me to come. I'm going to play my set. The last 10 minutes, I'm going to transition over to whoever else is
playing.
playing.
You should.
Right? And respectfully, like, hey, I'm going to set the tone for the next guy, right?
But, like, your job, like, I was the opener for that show itself. I'm just like, okay, I got to get people dancing. I got to pack out a floor.
Right.
What's the best way to do that? I'm going to do tech house. That's very heavy. I'm going to build up to a heavier bass to where if someone wants to play techno, they fall out thump, thump, thump.
It's not weird.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and that's a trick. Or even just like, and like to kind of put it in like layman's terms, right? Like if you're in a group and you're trying to have a conversation with people like we're having right now, like everyone brings different things. You have to allow those people to do that thing that they bring. Or else, why the fuck are you here?
But that's the paradigm itself. If we're in a group having this conversation, how do we open it up to people that aren't in this conversation? Or, in this case, if we're all playing techno music, how do we make room for people to play anything besides techno music?
Right.
And it's a tough question to answer if you're a DJ, because especially if you're on a bigger lineup, on a bigger show, it's your job to obviously play whatever you want. That's what we brought you there for.
Right.
But at the same time, if I'm an individual component part of a larger meal, how can I coalesce with the other DJs and this or that? Yeah. And sometimes that translates to everyone's going to play techno.
But that's a big thing. Notice how you said you're going to play whatever you want because that's what I brought you here for. Mm-hmm. A lot of the other people that are not even throwing these shows, just putting DJs on the lineup, they don't want you to play whatever you want.
And exactly.
They never want you to play whatever you want.
It's almost a loaded question.
And they come up to you and they're like, you need to start playing more of this. And that's some bullshit.
It depends. I'm not going to name names, but I know
plenty.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's crazy because like even for me as an individual, people were telling me when I was 22, they were telling me like, oh, you can't play this. You can't.
Yeah.
So from 22 to 24, I was very just like, I'm doing what the crowd does type shit, and I'm like, I wasn't enjoying it.
I don't like this.
I've never been booked more, but I've never been more depressed playing an hour-long set.
Yeah, dude, yeah.
Where I'm like, I'll throw in a Bad Bunny song.
But
I'll throw in a Beyonce song. Yeah,
Not to toot my own whistle, knock on wood. Assuming there's wood in here.
It's plywood, I think.
There's a bunch of wood then.
Yeah.
But like, I know a certain DJ, when I was still a roadie back in 2017, and people who know me know who I'm talking about. They were a great person. They played great music, but at certain venues, such as Halcyon and SF, or at Temple, they were given opportunities to play at larger venues, and I think it's kind of like an unspoken rule. I always suss out between the audio engineer and the person who booked me. I'm going to play this. What are my inner and outer parameters? Yeah, do that. Just don't do that. Okay, cool. I'm going to stick with the plan. This person played what they wanted to do, and as a result, it happens. It got kind of blackballed for a while, and I see them playing now at 10-15 and here and there, but like, for someone who had a lot of potential who didn't stick with the plan or other people's plans,
just be respectful, honestly.
Well, like I think this is the bigger conversation within a smaller conversation. Being of like, being an artist is the goal, but at the end of the day, like you're
making the people happy.
Well, no, but you're just like I had this analogy of like, the whole event being a car, so like the DJs are the wheels, they're the ones who make it roll. The club is the car, the physical body of the car. You know,
your bartenders are the lubrication to keep things moving and grooving.
And then the promoter is the gas. He's the one who's like, oh, I'm gonna let you fucking do whatever you want. I'm paying you to do the things that you want. But like sometimes the communication isn't there. And the lack of communication, like you're like, oh, like just because you got hit up by 10:15 or got hit up by
Hold
midway.
on. That's the issue right now, is that the promoters are the DJs, and they're like, majority of the time.
Dude, honestly,
I wish I got paid for being a promoter.
No, I get that. No, not even saying like you or anyone else that we know in our circle, but like it's a DJ that you don't meet, that doesn't show up to the show that he threw, and is, like, that's the issue, is they don't promote it. They don't show up to the show because they have something else they're doing.
Right.
It's like ridiculous.
Yeah.
You need to at least be there or like communicate with the people. Like, you don't just book them.
Right.
That's the issue. You can't just book people. You have to put your heart into something you're getting paid for.
Yeah. Like I like with me personally, right? When I was throwing shows, my biggest show that I threw, I opened. Just because like I'm like, oh well, no one wants to open a Halloween party.
You open,
right?
You?
So, well, it was me and Meraki. Like it was me. And
I'm just kidding.
No, it was me and 5 other people who opened, right? Just to be like, all right, well, we threw the event, and we're not the headliners. It's not about us. It's about all the other people. We had 2 rooms. To like blah 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 X, Y, and Z.
Well, can I be frank with you? Who wants to throw an event and have like other good people come on and miss them?
Jaded people who think that they're better. Those are the people who are like, oh, like I'm not just gonna throw this event, but I'm gonna put myself at the 10 to 11, 11 to 12 slot, and then have a headliner come through. You know what I mean?
You know what though? Like for example, I do a Thursday at Maze Oyster Bar in SF. It was a good weekly, and we're shifting to more of a monthly itself. I had no issues booking my friends because I know they're competent DJs who will do well, And I'm like, look, I don't always need to play, guys. I don't mind playing. I don't mind being a closer or an opener. I just want you guys to bring it and ideally bring some people.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I call it kind of like being like a neighborly DJ, being like a good neighbor, We're all trying to get out there, all trying to play, and I'm like, if I have a group of people in the area that routinely come to my shows or this or that, I don't mind being a platform for them.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think the problem currently with a lot of what's going on, regardless of genre or art form or whatever, the artist is doing so much work that they feel entitled to a high five or a pat on the back at the end of the day, that if you don't get it, you're like, well, what the fuck? I brought 10,
what did
15.
I do that for?
But like I said, guys, and for our listening audience to discern what's going on here, this was one big circle, and finally the circle within a circle. Yeah, you do deserve a pat on the back if you're doing the job of not a DJ,
Yeah.
If you're being front-loaded the responsibilities of the bar, you're being front-loaded the responsibilities of the event coordinator and promoter, you should get a pat on the back because you're doing more than focusing on the music.
Yeah.
And getting back to, like, what does it mean to play at a bigger club and deciding to play commercially viable music. At that point, you might be a great DJ, but you're part of an operation for that one night. Your job is to keep people dancing so they sweat and get tired and buy alcohol and drinks and keep dancing. Right. That is your responsibility.
Yeah. Like with me,
at least
keep them on
when I was throwing events, like we had an event at Midway, right? And the Sponges were the headliner. And then with the way that I did it was like who within our group, 1 fits the sound, and then 2 appreciates it, right? And so what I did was I gave everyone back-to-backs except for 1 DJ, and he was our opener, but he was part of our crew, and that was me being like, thank you. And that's Fabian, I love you, Fabian, fucking, yeah. But, like, it was, like, I allowed him that slot because he was, like, the Sponges are one of my favorite artists. Like, blah, 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 X, Y, and Z. And I was like, good, perfect. that you're the one who's going to be playing it, and then the rest of us are just going to do back-to-backs with the other people who aren't part of the crew. In order to bring the other people, in order to bring the people who aren't too familiar with our sound or whatever. And like that's like I see like I don't know. I just right now there's a lot of people doing a lot and not focusing on one specific thing, and that's kind of the problem. Like,
and you know what? You know, like I said, we're breaking all the gates today. If you want to be involved with your friends who DJ, but you don't know where to start, or maybe you're just not ready,
Pull up
and
Dude.
bring your friends. And you
Dude.
keep doing that, guess what? Hey man, I get paid so much, I'm going to throw you some action.
Yeah.
Like, I told all my friends, and shout out to my homie, one of my childhood friends, Alex Foster. He did a great job. I was playing out Monterey and SF. I'm like, Brody, I'll throw you some side action. I don't care if I lose money. Right now, I'm on a journey of looking commercially viable and seeing how far that goes. You bring me like 5 people, I'll slide you 200.
right.
You show up for an hour, that's $200. You can go to fucking Gold Club right next door. I don't care. And that's what he did, you know? And he brought me heads. He's like, fuck, I look competent as fuck. Because he brought 7 people. My homegirl, Natalie Flores, she brought her homegirls. You know, the guy I played kickball, shout out to Reckless Rob.
Shout out kickball.
He's a mean son of a bitch. But seriously, Rob brought his homies. That's another 5 people. And I showed up with like maybe like 3 to 4 people.
Yeah.
That's 20 people for someone who's
Right.
playing as a
And then
headliner.
also, like, okay, this is my problem with a lot of artists, regardless of genre, regardless of medium. Like, bringing people, right, is like, yes, maybe they paid $5 to get in, right? And maybe they're getting in for free. But if they're paying, like, if they're there, they're guaranteed to at least buy 2 drinks.
Yes.
Oh,
2 drinks
absolutely.
is $20.
Yeah.
Minimum.
2 drinks?
2 drinks minimum. I'm just saying, like, depending on, like, whether that be a small bar or a club,
I'm
you're
going to
spending.
say $30 now because
Yeah.
everybody raised it.
Shout out
so.
inflation.
Yeah.
Shout out Biden.
Shout out to Wiggin.
Sleepy Joe,
Literally,
you're the man.
what the hell?
Thank you, Sleepy Joe.
but no, it's just like it's one of those things where like people don't like they don't see the value on top of just the physical person there. Like it's like the person like if you bring people and if you bring 10 people and by yourself, that alone 10 people times 2, you know,
Let's say like that's $300 in bar sales.
minimum.
And if you're
Yeah.
throwing an event, a lot of these places have bar minimums. We're breaking all the gates. For example, if I'm doing anything from 9 to 2 at Monarch, and the very generous owner says, "Look, bro, just break $1,000. Everything after that, you guys get to keep." As long as there's $1,000 in bar sales,
Dude, people don't have these conversations.
They
you know?
don't.
And that's
but
what
that's
pisses
the
me
thing.
off.
And
That's
dude-
the thing with the
Dude,
DJ
okay,
shit.
like right now, like my last show was with Edenus, right?
Yeah. He's the homie. Shout out to Idnis.
Shout out to Edenus, I fucking love you.
Ramses.
But also like I
Ramses.
Oh, Rams.
but like with me like inadvertently they didn't ask, they didn't do anything. Like I did a paid advertisement, you know, for their event. I paid more for the ad and drinks and this more than they paid me.
Buy
to
your
me-
drink.
Well, no, for sure. But like, regardless, it was still a very expensive drink. Like, you know what I mean? And it's just dude, it was more expensive than I thought
I
it was.
spent
Gonna
like
be.
$200 that night.
Dude, it was crazy. It was crazy.
$200 will come with.
I got food too.
Okay.
The food is fire.
Well,
Yeah.
back massage and a half. Yeah, for $200.
You know?
Yeah. But like, it's just one of those things where like, dude, like there's so many. Dude, that's why I've been.
Well, that's the thing is that
hyper-focusing
when
on
you have a
this.
place like that, you know, you have a residency, right? And they pay you a certain amount. And when you agree to it, if you don't speak about it beforehand, they're going to pay you what they have allotted to pay each person in the time slot.
Right. And to me, well like with the Edenus thing, I don't care. This is the homie. I don't give a fuck if he just gave me a high five at the end of the day. You're the homie. I'm going to do everything I can in order to help your event because I love you, you know? And a lot of the times people get asked to be put on shows where they don't really know the promoter. They don't really know these people.
So they're
they're
so
like,
much more disappointed in the end result.
One, they're disappointed at the end result, but 2, they don't feel inclined to do anything beforehand. They're just like, oh, well, they booked me. They must feel that I'm good enough to just do whatever.
No,
No,
that is a reason. Sorry, we were talking before about booking new DJs, and like everyone wants to book the next new DJ, and I feel like the reason for that is because they're not, they don't go and they don't speak on those scary conversations. They don't.
They're
want
not
to.
scary,
They're not,
guys. You know, it's
Just a conversation,
that
but
you
people
need to
don't. There's the
have.
lack of conversation that's the problem. You know what I mean? Like,
that's where they take advantage of you.
Like with me, like dude, the amount of fucking shows that I've thrown and I've lost money, or I've had DJs where I thought that the person who was coordinating the DJs was paying them out, and they didn't. And then next thing you know, I get called out for it. Where I'm like, what the fuck? Like, okay, my bad. Here. What's your Zelle? You know, like, okay, like, there's $200. I don't want to ever hear you say shit.
Oh yeah, and
bitch. Yes.
Like that. Like
in between event promoters and DJs, you know, before you sign up gatekeeping or gate breaking, you know, just say, hey man, I'm happy to do this. Is this for free? Oh, okay. What is your rate? Cool. What is my expectation?
Right.
I'm always down to bring at least 5 people with me if I'm playing out of market or to a new venue because it makes me look good.
Right.
But more importantly, you know, if you're a promoter, you need to break down, look, this is our goal amongst all the DJs. We need at least $1,000 or $500 in the bar sales itself.
Right.
Everyone please to do a little CYA, bring 5 people with you. There's 5 times 10. You know, that's like 50 and 50 times, I don't know, 30.
If there's 4 DJs alone, 50, you know, like 50 times 4 is still 200 plus the ticket sales or the entrance fee is another, you know, like it's just like.
Have those conversations.
My thing is like, personally, I hate the fact that I get added to these group chats and the expectation
you said the G word.
is not fucking there. You know, they're like, oh, I'm so excited to have all you guys here, blah, blah, blah. Make sure everyone tags each other.
That's
and just like,
why
the tagging
they put it in the
isn't
group
the
chat.
thing. The tagging isn't the thing. The thing is, okay, how are we as a conglomerate for this one event, for this one night, how are we all going to make it the best for each fucking person?
They don't care. Y'all don't care about each other.
Oh.
And that's the real conversation, you know?
That's not the further blood. Blah, blah, blah. Y'all niggas don't care.
I'm glad you said it. But like, no, for real, it's just like, dude, like people just are. I don't know. I think we're at also the point of time that we're at, right? Like you mentioned that we're all kind of in the same group. We're the new generation of whatever area you're
Bay
at.
Area,
right?
We're
So-
the current class. We're like.
But the
Let's say
current class needs like before. I think we're still considered a current class. Like I think we're in the sophomore junior year of whatever this is.
Okay.
Like no one has really broke out, right? The people who I think should, NATO 8, Foley, like all these people who like should be breaking out are still fucking here. And that's not a shot. That just means you're still here.
Well, you know what? You know, and I'm happy you brought this up because like I said, I was already for 10 years. So I saw people were able to break out from their current class and get to that music festival market and then get to the bar.
Like Cat Lou, right?
Yeah, Cat Lou, exactly.
She's playing a festival on New Year's.
She's playing with S.G. Lewis for gift. It's not gift things.
Snow Globe? Is it Snow Globe?
No. It's I literally just saw it. I messaged her like that's fucking cool. Fresh Start. She's doing Fresh Start After Dark with like the
Oh, okay.
with those dudes from not Burning Man, but like we're like the OG house dudes.
Not
they play in the desert.
Oh.
No, like Lee Foss and all that stuff, you know.
See, that's the thing. That's why I'm the wife. Like I know the music, but I don't know who the people.
But see, that's
I know
how many times have I told you, right? The benefit.
Desert Heart. She's putting the Desert Hearts group.
Okay. Yeah. Like Porky and all
Lewis,
them. And
shout out to S.G. Lewis. He's the man.
Yeah.
But like
Sorry.
you know, I see like, and I say this as someone who's been around them before they were kind of breaking out too.
Yeah.
You know, people I see breaking out like her and JJKO and Haboob a little bit to an extent. He does a lot.
Yeah.
And I think he's starting to get into other markets too.
Yeah.
But
we love
like,
Haboob. He's awesome.
Ahmad is the man.
Yeah.
But like even with like Desert Heart, right? Like me as a nobody has still, but like I mean like respectfully, right? Respectfully to myself, I guess.
Respect yourself.
Yeah, but like also like I've been at after hours with Lee Reynolds.
Yeah.
Like I've been at these after hours with all of them, you know, and it's just like it didn't hurt me, but it didn't help me either.
Well, you know
It
what?
doesn't. No.
You know what I mean?
You're
And
pure
it's
of heart, though, and you have to understand. After hours is its own different world, and this or that. We've all been to.
But that's the networking. That's where that comes in.
That's not where the networking comes in.
Networking comes from like for
You can
example,
go to the first bar. And you could be there and see them and then network with them. But I don't feel like after hours has anything to do with
bro.
that. I think it's like
I think it's
what
I
happens
think
in,
I personally think it's a shortcut.
I think it's like
Because-
what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Yeah, like for,
Yeah, but if you have a secret with someone else, then you're like that. The next time you see each other, you're like, ah.
for example,
You know what I mean? And like that's
Yes,
just
I do know
that's
it.
human. That's humans in general.
like for example, like Niall from Dirty Not Sorry. I'm Neil. He's Niall Ha.
Yeah.
You know,
At first, she in the group chat, I thought that's who was pulling up. So to see you,
know,
I was like, oh fuck, okay.
Niall
I was
is
expecting a
with
white
us
boy, you know?
everywhere, so that's okay. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
We love Niall.
Yeah.
But I met him like literally almost a year ago because my homegirl Justine Prismatic said, "Hey, I'm getting dinner with some of the other DJs. You wanna come along?"
Shout out, come to the podcast.
Exactly.
She's local also.
Yeah, Justine, come on, you're next, baby.
Yeah.
But seriously, I went to dinner with them. I met Christine or Dream and Shadows. I met what's his face? He escapes my name, but I met a lot of the Dirty Not Sorry people.
Mm-hmm.
I met Niall. Like, oh, he's cool. Like, yeah, he's the head of Dirty Not Sorry. Like, huh? I know him. I have him face. I'm Neil. I met everyone while sober and just getting to know each other and this or that.
The best
Fast
time
forward.
to meet everyone.
Thank you. It is. And fast forward to a year, you know, I did my first show with them. I did the podcast with them a couple months ago in summer, you know, and after hours are great, but DJs are people who like to eat and talk just like we're doing right now.
Right.
And if you can do it in a sober moment, you know, obviously set your intentions. Hopefully they're right. If not, just do it the cleanest way possible. But meet people, talk to them. Like, I'm Neil FLPN, but I'm FLPN, I'm flipping. You know?
Yeah.
Like, meet people, understand them, develop those relationships.
Yeah.
That's how I met Ashley.
I was just gonna say that. That's how we met.
You know Han, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So I met Han doing my first show in SF. I was playing for Haboob and Utopian during their rooftop series this last summer, or spring itself. I did a good job. I was putting up the afters at Butter. I met Han. We talked a little bit. I met another local cat, Candy Beats. He's a cool dude.
He's cool too. I like him.
Exactly. You know, you meet people, you're working with them, and like, I might be new, but like, okay, this person I fuck with, this person I fuck with. And just me being me, you know, my big homie, my mentor, Alex Gold up in Sacramento, you know, hey man, that's fucking awesome. You did a rooftop. I have rooftop in Sacramento. Any person you meet at that rooftop, you invite them to play in Sac, and I'll host them. Like, let's do it. Let's run it.
Oh, dude. Know? Honestly, like, okay, maybe I'm gonna project everything on me, right? The same energy that you have, right, and the same energy that you have is the same energy that he has. Matt. Shout out, Matt.
Big ups, Matt.
Energy.
But like it's the same. It's like it's welcoming, right? I for whatever reason, I don't have that energy.
Yeah, you do.
I don't have that energy.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I mean?
Ladies and gentlemen, this man is like the second coming of Jesus Christ.
But
What
like
happened? What happened when I first met you? You're like, I don't know.
I do no, but like seriously, like I'm like I just don't have that. I don't know if it's like
That's a lie, man. Like, you're the most welcome person I've met in a minute.
No. Like, don't get me wrong. Like,
No,
one-on-one,
he
is.
no. One-on-one, I'm amazing.
But
that was also like I shouldn't have said amazing, but
that's like bullshit.
but also like in a group setting, I shut down. Like I need my buffers, whether that even her or Christian or like whoever. I need my buffer, so and then I can break the one person who I want to talk to and be like, oh dude, what you did was really cool. I fucking love what you do. And then I walk away and I run away, you know. And I'm like, do you want a drink? Okay, no, okay, you know. And that's just how I am because I'm socially awkward and I don't know how to. I just don't know how to act.
If you're paying attention, give them compliments. You know, run.
No, I will literally sprint.
You're so
out the
great.
building.
You're so awesome. I'll be your friend. You're so
like,
cool.
my
You're so
Uber's here. I drove there, but like, it's just like, dude, like I just don't know how to act. Literally, but like I just don't know how to act. Like with the Edna show, right? The white boys who pulled up, they pulled up because they saw the post that I did. And like they were trying to have a conversation with me, and I was just like, oh yeah, cool, thanks for pulling up. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, what's your IG? Okay, bet. I followed them. Blah blah blah. We DM now, on a friendly basis, but like in person, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna hang out with these. Like I'm gonna just chill at this table, and like that's just a me thing.
That's kind of how we met, because I think it was it might not have been butter that we.
I think it was a Noite.
No.
Was it in SF?
It was in the city.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
This bitch don't remember.
Dude, I don't. If you don't remember, I don't remember.
Murdoch
what do you mean?
Murdoch was playing in the city. I don't know what it was, like if it was butter or if it was a different
audio.
One, but no, it was at the Valencia room.
Oh, okay.
And you had posted it, and I think they had open.
Monday,
open decks.
yeah.
And
Shout
Jacob
out to Carlos,
and I went.
NYCT. He's a homie. I'm shouting on everyone.
Jacob and I went, and we saw. Oh, I talked to. She's really nice. So she was on the podcast, Maury Rivers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's hella cool. Shout out.
Shout out. Hey, Beat Lab. Shout out Beat Lab.
Beat Lab. What's up? Yeah, but and that's where I met Shivani too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Shivani's hella.
Oh, Shiva, she's the homie.
She's so good.
Big ups to Shiva. I love you. All right.
Yeah, we all love. Oh my god.
But like,
awesome.
okay.
But I met you there. And I walked up to you and I was like, hey, do you know if there's still open decks? And you're like, I don't know. And I was like, ew, bitch. And I went back to Jacob and I was like, I don't like
honestly,
him.
That's a real time.
Literally.
Wait.
Dude,
Genuinely,
if we were to be at a club and you were to come up to me, like, I wouldn't be the same interaction that we had right now, right?
Oh my gosh.
Like, straight, I don't, because in my head, in my dumb, like,
Stop.
in my, like, self-induced head, I feel like, oh, what does this person want from me?
Yeah.
Like, that's where I come from.
I
came into the industry, quote unquote, at 21, where everyone was like, can I get on a lineup? Can I do this? Can I do that?
I know who you are. Okay.
And,
so I'm not going to name this name. I love him. But I know exactly who you are. And just to give everyone listening or watching. So basically, if you're a young DJ at 21 or event promoter, and I almost advise you just start a little later once you're a little maturity.
Dude, that's what I needed, because I didn't even want to be a DJ.
Rough.
I bought a USB and then they told me you're playing.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't even really want to do this.
So before you're an adult, basically you're gonna be expected to do the work of 5 people. You're only 21. You're gonna get used and abused because you're young. You're gonna make an attitude like either I get fucked or I do the fucking.
Right.
You're gonna become hard and callous. You might get somewhere, you might lock down a venue, you might be successful, but it's like you're
talking about me right now.
No, I'm not.
She's laughing because it's dude, I swear to God, like, I came at this way too young, and then thinking that what my crew was doing mean that I was doing it, and it's just and I knew that at a very early stage where I'm like, I'm not doing anything, which is why even to this day when I am doing something, like, I still say I'm not doing shit. Like, I don't do anything, like,
because it's so much that
I don't even want the pressure. I don't want the pressure.
It's trauma, and I'm not saying I'm your
therapist.
Dude,
it is trauma. Trust me, my
when you're
therapist
13. But seriously, and I'm saying this to work through it, you should take time to have a buffer zone itself. But you're older now.
This is what this podcast was, right? Like, I understand. I want you to know who I am before we talk business. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't want to have to owe you something, unless you know where I'm coming from.
Oh, absolutely.
So then then the conversation isn't weird. If I tell you, like, hey, bro, you didn't do what I was expecting, I'm gonna give you maybe $25 less than what you thought you were going to expect, but that's because you didn't do what you promised.
Contracts are the name of the game,
and that was my point earlier when I said we're this generation of the scene we're at that point where like we're realizing like, oh, this is also a business. A lot of us, right?
And
Some
that's
of us,
okay. It's okay to be a business, and it's okay to make money because.
but it has nothing to do with business. If you want to get paid at the rate that you deserve, then you should respect the role that you're playing.
You should.
Right? And like that's the conversation that isn't had where it's just like, hey, if I'm booking you for an 11 to 12 slot, I expect 15 people.
Absolutely.
Minimum 15 people is really not that many people.
No.
That's literally 8 friends with two homies.
We always bring at least 10 people.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's 8 people that you individually know that may bring 1 or 2 people. And that's it. And like outside of that, like it's a hard conversation to have because it's the SoundCloud conversation without the numbers.
Well, it's monetization. If you can quantify it, you can modify it. You know.
Right, but if you're asking for something, then you should
Be able to deliver.
deliver. Right, like if I'm booking you for a $150 to $300 slot. And you're telling me that this is what you deserve.
Tables too, yeah.
Then this is like your rate isn't what the time slots that are given to you. It's what you can actually do.
And between my good homie Matt Meyer, who I consider very successful, big ups to him. He works for the Temple Music Group. He's a great guy. But if I learned anything from him, it's really simple. Promo is life. It does not matter if I slap. It does not matter if I encourage you and your husband or you and your wife or girlfriend to make children after listening to my music.
Right.
If there's no one there's no one buying alcohol or paying cover or whatever.
Right.
Guess what? The machine doesn't work because you might be a DJ, but you're part of something bigger.
Right.
You're part of a club. You're part of a scene.
Like
you're part of a reputation.
Okay, I'm gonna like minorly call someone out, I guess. But like not really because they're doing shit now.
You could say blank blank.
Sure.
Whatever. I don't even give a shit.
There's a lady DJ, right? Who she gets booked for all these gay clubs, right? And she kills at these gay clubs. But when she gets moved to like the F8s even, like it doesn't transfer over, she's still opening. Right? And like, but that's because they're like, oh, she's a female and she's gay. That marks off fucking 2 check marks in my lineup.
Yes, bitch. It's like when you go to sign up for school and they say, are you African American? Are you Indian?
You're studying engineering? Huh. We don't have a lot of
we
those.
Want you here? Yeah.
You want diversity. And like, it's not a knock on
But
her.
at the end of the day, if you don't deliver, then no one's gonna. Then it fucks up for the next person, right? Because they're like, oh well, these people don't fucking care.
That's very true.
You know what I mean? And that's
that.
my thing. Where it's just like it's not the like what you've been saying since the beginning is kicking the door open. My thing is just keeping the door open. Like I don't have to be the first. I don't have to be the best. I just want to make sure that the conversation is still had. Which
absolutely.
is why this podcast, which was with the original purpose of this podcast, was to have real conversations with local DJs where it doesn't matter. Like we're not. If I say something bad about one DJ right now, it's not gonna stop him from eating because he has 3 jobs. You know, this is his passion project.
Excuse me, we have inflation, so
But that's what I mean.
10 jobs, yeah.
But
you got to round the 2, yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like it's just like one of those things where it's just like I'm not stopping you from eating, but I also we would be at the buffet rather than going to Jack in the Box if you would have done a little more work.
But you know what though? That's a good perspective. I think platforms should be used ideally to build up people. If not, let's be constructive with our feedback.
For sure.
If you think so and so could have happened, everyone is always a couch quarterback after the game and we should have done this and done that itself.
Right.
But you know what? This is a solid platform for
conversation.
This
I want it to be
class
conversation.
And future classes and older classes. Look, let's have those conversations. Let's talk about we do this to make money. But let's do that, make money so we can be passionate.
Well, it's that's my thing. It's not about making money. My thing, dude,
this is therapy.
My hope and my hope for genuinely is always to just break even, right? Like if I've said this countless times, right? Like, with Dewada, with Bruja, with there's a bunch of other DJs who they had their first set through us, and now they're playing Temple, they're playing Halcyon, they're playing 1015. But it's just like, but if it wasn't for someone to take the chance on you, like, you wouldn't be anywhere outside of like maybe fucking your way up to the top, right? Which is
Never be afraid to be on your knee. Joking.
But like, also, if you're trying to hit me up,
loosen your jaws now. Joking now.
But like, it's just like, it's one of those things where it's just like, dude, like, I'm just trying to have a real conversation with real people. And sometimes like artists aren't real people because they are the person that they think that they are. They're not the person that they are.
Though it's, and I want to
Hold on, that was not a direct hit at Dewada and Bruja.
Oh yeah.
Let me just make sure you guys know
Thank you for that. Thank you for
because
that.
we love you guys.
We love you guys. We love you guys. We love you guys.
Unless it was, because we'll see them on the next episode.
Yeah. No, we love you guys. And like, that wasn't a shot at you guys because you guys are killing it.
WWE SmackDown.
You guys always hit me up.
We saw you, Bruja, at Norte.
That's hella funny. No, that wasn't a shot at them. Yeah. Thank you for that.
We're gonna resolve all beefs with a big wrestling match.
Dude.
Rage in a cage.
Honestly,
Honestly,
and this is. But, honestly, like, yeah, like
it's a clip.
It's one of those things where I don't know. It's we're playing. We have so many different hats while we're doing things. Whether you're the event coordinator, the DJ, or whatever, you're all simultaneously kind of sharing the same hats. And like, I think back in the day, it was a lot easier because you were like, oh, I'm an artist.
You pull up, you play. The promoter promotes and does everything else.
And like, and I think promoter. This is why I said originally I want to be an A&R. I want to bring that back because I don't think artists in general.
What is an A&R?
An A&R is an
Artist
artist relations.
repertoire.
Yeah. Or artist repertoire, artist relations, artist whatever.
Okay.
It's the fact of like you being like, oh, dude, I need vocals on here, and I'm like, oh well, I know this singer over here. I can bring her over here.
It's almost like you're the conductor.
I'm a facilitator. Which is why I brought up DJ Khaled.
I like that a lot, actually.
That's who I personally want to be.
Because when I listen to music and I feel, music from the Bay Area,
Right.
Yeah.
right? I feel like it's missing this, and this. I do tell my friend, like, hey, you should have this person on there next. So I do understand that, and
that's why personally, like, I've been kind of like I fell back within the last like year and a half or so. I really fell back, trying to like really like. If it isn't the homie, then I'm not gonna do it because there's gonna be an expectation that wasn't communicated to me. So I'm like, I don't even want to do it anymore. Like, it just feels more like a job. And this isn't a job.
Yeah.
This is my passion. Like, it's not a job. I understand that you have to put in work.
But now whose job is that? Do you think that if somebody comes to you and they're like, I want you to play this?
I personally think that there's so many people who want the team captain badge on them that they forget their role. And that's the thing that like pisses me off where they're like, dude, just fucking stick to one thing and be the best at that. And then you can do everything else.
That's why I like the point of a collective, like the collective that Jacob's a part of. I feel like everybody puts in the same amount of effort. If someone doesn't make it, another person is gonna show up, and
that's
there's
communication.
Gonna be like, exactly.
Communication.
Exactly. Yeah.
And like that's my thing where like everyone, I'm not gonna. I don't want to call anyone out, but like there's
call him Voldemort.
That bitch.
There's certain people who have residencies at these places that are like weekly, right? Mm-hmm. Where they're playing every other week, and they're doing that because they can't find another person.
But it's also so stagnant, and the reason why they can't find other people is because
people.
they're assholes.
Well, not okay. Assholes is accurate, but as someone who runs a weekly, but also
weeklies are so hard.
We're switching to
that's why I started applauding once you started like we're going monthly. Where I'm like, thank God.
Because let's break that down itself. So there's DJing on a Friday and a Saturday and a Sunday. That's one thing.
Right.
A weekly itself is saying, hey, the bar owner, if you have a good bar owner, shout out to Matt at May's Oyster Bar. You're the man. All right. He's a great bar owner because he understands that, for Thursday, I just want some good music. You know, when people coming in, I know I get foot traffic, but I can keep them longer if I have a competent DJ coming on.
Right.
He allows me and the person I work with, Alejandro Torres, big ups to you, and all great DJs. I call my homies. I get to put on people, and I was like, you know, this is a great platform. I'll get to kind of practice and develop to where when we network our own selves and get to our Fridays and Saturday shows, then we're ready and we're tuned up and ready to go.
Right.
But, I've also been to other weeklies, and, you know, also love playing on Butter, too, because...
Dude, Butter is so much fun.
It's awesome.
And it's a historical place. Big ups to Vlad. Like, in the 90s, he's a guy you would, like, call a phone number to. He would do recorded line for, like, the party lines and this or that. He's a living legend. Big up to Vlad. Big up to Michael Anthony. Big up to the bartender dudes. They're fucking awesome. But I feel like weeklies struggle because if it's the same person playing on a Monday, a Tuesday, a Wednesday, or Thursday, and it's the same group of people, they get comfortable with each other and we get complacent. When you get complacent, you get competent. Think, well, we always get 20 people. We hit our soft goals. You're never growing. And it's hard tapping back into what you want to say is because, like, yeah, I don't trust anyone else. We are a collective for a reason because we all pull up.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're not going to be able to elevate if it's always your Thursday night DJs.
I have 2 points to that, right? So one point with... in general, like if you're a venue, right, asking for a promoter or a collective to do stuff bi-weekly, weekly, the thing that pisses me off with venues is that they feel like, oh, we alleviated some work from us. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing that we're like, I'm not doing you a favor. Because guess what? If I didn't do it, then you would have to find someone else. And that's my biggest thing with like venues where they feel like they think that they're doing you a solid by just having you on. And it's like...
It's been a whole paradigm shift that, you know, we, in this platform, and we're listening to it in our DJ friends, we have to shift control because it's not sustainable. That's why I went from a weekly to
We're doing
a
shit for
monthly.
free, dude.
But that's
we really are working for free. And that's what pisses me off. We're like, dude, the bar is really making like... close to like $3,000 a night, right?
At least.
When we have...
On a slow night.
On a slow night. When we only have 30... 40 people there, right? In and out. In like maybe like within one singular time we have at most 20 people there. Mm-hmm. But rotating we have like 45 different people coming through. Mm-hmm. And it's just like they don't tell us that, but like while you're DJing or while you're like mingling and everything, there's only 20 people there. And it seems like there's not that many people there, but there's so much going on that like you need to like really be hyper focused on everything.
I'm picturing so many wine bars in the city that I know of that like they do
Dude,
that.
There's so many.
You know?
There's
like,
so many venues. There's so many venues, right? Some venues are just like, we're just happy you're here. Thank you.
Yeah.
You brought us some people. Some other venues are like, they're like, oh well.
This isn't enough. This is a slow night. You made 5,000. This is a slow night for
but they won't tell you. But they won't tell you they made.
True.
But they won't tell you that they made 5,000.
They'll
be like, oh, I don't have enough to pay my
no,
bouncer.
fuck that.
You know,
I make
will
them
name names
show
with
me.
This one, so I started doing a Sacramento rooftop bar up in Sacramento.
Right.
Gastro pub crawl and grill or whatever. Big ups to my homie Alex Gold because you know what, he took punches and he kept rolling with it because he knew it was his passion.
Right.
His passion is music. But, and I'll say this with harassment, fuck you, Philippe. You know, he's a bar owner who would make 10 bands a night.
Yeah, dude.
We played Friday and Saturday and even Sunday.
Yeah.
He's always making 10 bands a night.
Yeah.
We're always packing out his fucking upstairs and his downstairs. We're playing great house music. We're not playing like, you know, tech house. We're playing actual house music, snobby house music, things that people can lounge and vibe to, and we kept a certain decorum, a certain fashion to it, and we made sure we tuned very well to his expectations.
Right.
We did this from March of last year to probably last year was like in August. We hardly had any budget. We were starting to lose our budget. We went from $500 a night to you have $300 a night.
Right.
Oh my God.
We went from booking maybe 5 people to I can book 1 or 2 people at most.
I personally like with the Sacramento scene. I've DJ'd the silent discos at Flamingo. I've done all these things. Cool. That's awesome. I understand, dude. If
We
I'm working
love
a day
Flamingo,
party,
by
if
the
I'm working a
way.
day party, they're not just ordering drinks.
They're
ordering food.
Yes, they
Dude,
have
the
sushi.
food-
They have
Oh,
sushi.
Hey,
Dude,
let's
they have
break down
sushi
the
there,
numbers.
and
Let's-
it's not
you know-
cheap. It's
you know,
not
it's
cheap.
And it's just like,
inflated. Thank you, Sleepy Joe. Let's break down the numbers. So if it's, let's say,
Thank you.
if it's like what, 5 of us here, right? We're all gonna get like a $20 main dish. We're
I
gonna
always
get
get my own roll of sushi. So.
exactly.
Dude, that alone is $18.
Yes,
Plus
it is.
your 2-3 drinks that
My
you're gonna
2
get.
2 to 3
hot
drinks.
chocolate drinks, $16 each.
So that's
At
like
Flamingo
what,
House.
$40-$60
Oh.
roughly per head.
Minimum.
Let's call it $40 on the
Plus
cheap.
the
And
entrance.
then you find out that the DJs have drink tickets.
Dude, and no.
You don't even get to use the drink ticket.
Dude, it's...
Yeah.
Literally everywhere the DJs DJ.
Dude,
I got one from 10.15 in my pocket.
I still to this day have my first drink ticket that I got. I still have it.
Yeah,
And these
Dude.
venues, they're still restaurants, so they can pack them out. They can have 70 to 200 people sitting
Hold on.
down.
Let me shout out Temple SF though, because when you play during the night, they really hook you up. They're
For sure.
they're hella cool.
Oh, yeah.
But guess
Big
what?
ups
Guess
to
what?
Jorge.
Guess what? The Temple. The difference is with Temple and a lot of other spaces. Temple has 3 rooms.
Oh, they have 3? I thought
Yeah.
Well, they
Oh,
have
2.
down.
Oh,
They have the
and
basement, the
upstairs.
reggaeton one. They have the main room, and then they have the
rooftop, right?
The rooftop. Oh, they
Well,
have 4 then.
Actually, it's
If you
five.
want to, yeah.
But it used to be 5, so they have the
But I
side
think
room.
4. They use 4 on the regular, right?
Yeah.
They have the reggaeton Spanish side. They have the main room,
I
which
thought
is
the
usually like
basement
a
is like
tiesto.
hip-hop.
Basement
That's
is
what I mean,
hip-hop,
reggaeton,
upstairs
hip-hop.
is
Jacob
EDM.
played the main room.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then they have that side room that you have to walk through the basement where it's like that long one with all the lights and everything.
Is that open again?
It's open.
Is it?
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Shout
So,
out
like-
to Jay because
Like,
he's
dude, they have so many
awesome.
different
Yeah.
ways of like
D-Mac.
eating, right? So like, and also I understand they have an overhead, they have everything, and I understand that, right? But as long as they hit maybe like 250 to 300, they don't just break even; they're making money now.
Oh, for sure.
But you know what, though? Just give context to Temple is a very well-oiled historical place in San Francisco.
So
It
is
was-
F8.
So is F8. One was a bigger venue. One was always been a bigger venue. Before it was Temple, one was always F8.
Yeah.
1192 Folsom. Go there.
Right.
On Sundays for
All
drum and bass.
Okay. But regardless, I personally feel like I think with this personally, I'm not gonna bring this on anyone else, but like personally, I think with this podcast, what the pushback that I've gotten is that we've been hyper focusing on certain little small things that it kind of deters a lot of other people away because they feel like I'm talking shit when I'm like, no, I'm talking about your value. And I'm like, and I don't think they realize that. Like as an artist, as a creator, as an event coordinator, as a bar owner, like you don't realize like, oh no, like people are having this conversation, and we're not just aware, but we are kind of tired of just being a peg on this giant conglomerate of machine that's moving.
But you know what? You know, I hate to cut you off here. Just to add a little context to that. Maybe a little devil's advocate. It's ego. You know, we always fight to eliminate ego and be a base person. But you know what? There's no light without the dark. And there's no chill Neil flipping without, yeah, I fuck shit up. Yeah, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And it's the same for bar owners, other DJs, event coordinators, or this or that. And I think just respect that a little bit. You know, no matter what you do, people are always going to feel some type of way. Not
sure.
because they think, you know, opposite or whatever.
Just because of their own
It's,
deal.
It's,
Yeah,
it's their ego is like it's what you put in the gas tank. You know? Like, for example, one of my best shows I played up in Roseville, you know, I drove 2 hours. I know everyone else in the lineup was good, but I was determined, like, no, I'm going to do a really good show.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to my own fucking music for 2 hours straight. I was brainwashed, but it was my ego. It was like, I'm going to affirm, I'm going to do a good job. I'm going to manifest me getting everyone dancing.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew it was going to be a really small venue in the middle of fucking nowhere.
But did you get everyone dancing?
Oh, I fucking slapped.
So
That's
then
right.
your ego was the
Having an ego is not always bad.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
I think that's what the point you're trying to say is like, you know, we're not here to ego stomp people or this or that because we all have it, but I think it's more of an attunement to where like, let's leave our egos when we're not prepping our music, when we're actually planning out these nights, when we're making these contracts or we're all agreed upon common goals which we're setting upon and working towards to, let alone we're saying my expectations. You're playing from 10 to 11. I need to see 15 to 20 people.
Yeah.
You know, and from your standpoint, I'm an event coordinator to the bar owner. Hey, I'm having you doing from like 9 to 2. I want to see $1,000 in bar sales. You know, that's his ego putting out, you know, positive things he wants to see from you and trickle down from vice versa. I think you just have to
that makes a little bit of sense.
That makes I mean, in layman's terms, right? Mm-hmm. If you get hired for a job, you're expected a certain amount. But they tell you up front in the first week, like, this is training, this is what we're expected. If you can't complete that, then guess what? Like, within a month, you're gone, right? With shows day to day, like, it's a little harder to kind of, like, use that analogy, but the work isn't the hour that you're playing. That's the privilege. Mm-hmm. The work is like, oh, I got these people. Even if you didn't bring anyone, but you were the one posting the most. Like, if you try, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, that to me, like, I see the people who are trying. Is it annoying to see the same flyer over and over again because they don't know how to promote themselves in a different way? Sure, that is annoying. But it still tells me that they give a fuck about that certain event more so than the headliner who is only posting 3 or 4 times.
Once or twice. And that's exactly my preparation. Yeah. So, like, you know, a little bit more inside baseball here. If I get booked for a show a month in advance, week in advance, couple days in advance, like, you're kind of cutting me off at the legs.
That's me with this podcast. But if you like fucking book me a week and like a week after, I can't do anything, you know.
But like, give me like a week or a month. My preparation, because just like I said, the DJ is fronted a lot of responsibilities for like a solid week or two. 2 weeks out. Hey guys, I got a show in 2 weeks. Put out once or twice, whatever. As soon as it's Sunday, before that Saturday I play, right? From Sunday to Saturday. If it's not every day, it's every other day. I'm going to post. I'm going to message. I'm going to put silly little gifts with my posters.
Yeah.
I'm going to put great music that I like. I'm going to do everything in my power to empower you to come to my show. I want you to see me play from 1 hour. I'm so grateful for it because I'm doing my part to make sure that night is successful.
Right.
On top of preparing my music, making sure everything is sounding good, making sure I switched up a little bit so it's familiar but new and something different and yada, 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 you know, and you just have to, like, for people who aren't the DJs or aren't the event coordinators, when a DJ puts something out there, it's very much them being so serious while putting on something fun and you're like, oh, okay, well, check this out, you know.
I mean, to kind of keep it on that light note, like, what we do is so much fun.
It is.
It's so much fucking fun. Because what we're doing is, like, dude, we're bringing people together to dance.
Fuck yeah.
At the end of the day.
That's
like,
the
dude,
best part
and, like,
of it all.
That's the thing that, like, personally, I'll always put it on myself, where, like, I felt jaded to where I'm like, why aren't you dancing?
Yeah, dude.
You know what I mean? I'm like, oh fuck, that's my fault though.
Nights.
I'm like, oh, that's my fault. Like, whether I'm a DJ or the event promoter, I'm like, oh, no, it's my fault. Like, I should have made the experience more inviting for you to, like, let loose a little bit, you know. And, like, that's the same conversation with that we've been having the entire night, whether of, like, what is your job, right? Like, your job is, yes, DJing, performing, and making sure that people come. But at the end of the day, is like, if people show up and then end up leaving and don't spend any money because they're like, oh, actually, this club looks more lit.
Yeah.
You know, like that doesn't, you didn't do anything. You just made people just come in. They didn't post anything. They didn't say that they were here, you know? And it's just like, oh, well, then you need to you need to provide something a little bit more.
But for our audience, you know, that's our goal, but it's also the law of large numbers. Like, you're not, like, for example, I had a great night. There's like 40 people at Maze, but the crowd was just wasn't our normal crowd.
Oh, okay. I love that you brought that up.
You get normal people who, this is familiar but different, but it's a Thursday, so I just want to vibe out.
Right.
Sometimes we get weird things, and sometimes
I love that you brought that up, because like a lot of the times we don't realize what like on a day-to-day at work, right? Whether you work in tech or whatever, the thing that you're supposed to make spin or like go is like for DJs is the crowd, right? Mm-hmm. If you keep them there and you keep them dancing and you keep them paying for drinks, then you did your job. But even if you had the most amazing set and no one was there, no one heard it. Exactly, it's that whole thing of like, if a tree falls, does anyone hear it?
Yeah.
And like, you gotta be prepared for those moments to happen, because
for sure,
guys, what we do is we might affirm.
It's a thankless job almost.
But exactly, there's gonna be nights where like, well, fuck, I slapped for no reason, or I did all this promo work and the DJs brought people and yada yada yada. Shit happens. Yeah.
Yeah, it's rough. Like overall, it's just like a hard. I like this whole thing of being like an artist and a business person is a hard thing, because art is subjective, but business is business.
Can I just add though? Friends of DJs, friends of homies that know DJs, bring everybody. I've heard people say like, "Oh, it was hella dead," and it's like, you say that, but it's fucking your fault, because like you don't want to go, like, unless it's hella packed,
and it's like, hard because, like I said,
when you're first coming up too,
perception versus perceptive. If I'm going out to support my homies, I'm gonna bring as many people as possible.
Yeah, like when we go see Dem 2, or like you or fucking Edenas, all of us, we just pull up, and I try to bring as many people as I can, not only because it's gonna be fun, but because I want to support. Like,
But at the same time, for your homies, I say this as a roadie, who you're bringing with you, you expect them to bring people, communication.
Yeah.
Hey, if I'm playing somewhere and you're getting in for free, cost admissions, you bring like 1 or 2 people with you.
Yeah.
You got to communicate and put that out there, because
I think the lack of communication, is what's been hurting the scene in general. Because if we saw what was happening during the whole pandemic, tech house, the scene was never bigger than that. You know what I mean? And during a pandemic, people were paying $60 to sit on a table with only 3 other people, including themselves. So
I just paid like $6.77 a couple weeks ago for.
But that was for a fucking table, and that's different at a club.
Okay, but
that's cheap. $6.77. Oh,
for 2 bottles.
Oh, $600. I thought like $67.
Yeah.
What is that?
Nah, like usually it's like maybe like $300.
Yeah, no.
For 1 bottle.
I mean, for the table and a bottle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got 2 bottles.
That's still good. Like
for 2 bottles of Patron. That's not bad.
That's not bad. Like for like my birthday, I balled out. I went to Temple because my friends work there. Yeah. And I love going there. I probably dropped maybe like 12. I would say. Well, not 12K, like 1,200.
Yeah,
that's why we're joking. That's why we're like.
Big shout out to Jorge and Temple, because I had the best birthday ever. It was fun. I got drunk. I handed out tequila to anyone to look thirsty.
Shit.
And I recommend I recommend Temple for all your party services.
They're really good.
They're extremely good.
Name is it
Ken? That's the thing.
Kent, right? At Temple, he's awesome.
But that's the thing, where it's just like, a lot of us aren't playing these venues, right? So, like, to get those benefits or to even have that outlook on things, it's so different between the everyday consumer, where they're just, like, showing up, right?
Yeah.
The people who are just showing up, who don't even know the lineup, don't give a fuck. They're just there for the venue. They know that the lights are going to be there, there's going to be confetti,
it's
there's
Temple.
going to be smoke.
It's 10:15.
You know what I mean? Like,
well, 10:15 always has a good DJ.
For sure.
Always.
For
and
sure.
So does audio.
So, but that's to my point, right?
Yeah, except when fucking, what's his name now? Not Carnes. What's he go by?
Gordo.
I saw him play a fucking audio with Han.
After
Delaney
treasure
played.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I love Delaney.
D-Mac, shout out to D-Mac.
Yes.
She's the best.
But okay. Before you finish that, right? do you not feel that he's a comfortable artist?
I cringe. He looks just like me. People, if you're listening, I kind of look like Gordo, just more handsomer, you know?
Yeah, there you go. Talk your shit still, you know?
Yeah. Hey, but like...
Hey, we all talk shit.
He got there because, the man doesn't want to stop playing music. But the music he plays, like, he was playing techno. I'm like, I was falling asleep. Yeah. I'm like, no fucking way, bro. I did not pay...
He played techno.
Well, no,
I
he
didn't think he was like privy to that. I don't know.
No, he was playing because
I personally, my thing.
Me because
I
like.
No, I love Carnage.
Okay. Yes.
So I fell in love with Carnage. So I'm a stan for Gordo, right? But and like that's me as a fan, right?
Yeah.
As a fan, I don't know him as a person. I honestly haven't ever seen a Gordo set. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, where I'm like,
I've seen Carnage.
I've seen Carnage so many, like 6 times. But I
Did
go
he play
out of
EDC?
Yeah, I've never been at EDC, but he's played like Hard
playing.
Summer.
He just didn't stop playing,
My thing was like coming back to like the Claude Von Stroke shit, right? Where he's like now Barkley Crenshaw. Yeah. Like, dude, like the same way that Carnage never gets off the decks because he feels like he's inclined to always play, which is not a shot, but I feel you. Is the same way that like
like he doesn't want to get the fuck off.
He will literally be like, no, I'm bigger than you.
Okay, I was at Crossed, and it was the girl before Deborah DeLuca, and I think it was Amy something. I'm not totally sure.
Shout out Amy Winehouse.
She came back from the grave like.
But like Deborah's fucking on there, and she's like, doing things. She plugs in. She's doing her shit, and this other girl is like still on there, and it's like, get the fuck off.
Yeah.
Like we knew who you were.
But
then now we want you the fuck off.
But that's
like,
the same conversation. That's the same conversation that we've been having, but on the DJ aspect or the artist aspect, right? We're like the venues. They're like, oh no, we're the reason why you're here. Like,
I don't know about that. Because when I book people and these assholes think that they can continuously play after I told them to get off or whatever. No, even if I tell them and they still think.
It's a decorum.
It happens.
That
so
hour
often,
you're booked, it's literally like, that is a blessing. Like, for example, my last show, I was the opener, 10 to 11. I'm like, great. First minute I couldn't play. Link cable wasn't working. The DJ is having issues getting off. I'm like, my hour became like 35 minutes.
Yeah. Right.
I still had a lot of fun.
But it happens, it happens. It's happened to Jacob.
And when 11...
It's happened to me with fucking Napa, shout out, but...
Oh, shit. It happened at North End one time, too.
I love you, Nathan. Okay.
Yeah. But like, dude, I was just like, okay, we're going back to back for 30 minutes. And then I'm like, hey, dude, like, let me cook for a little bit. Like, let me cook for my hour at least, Like, and it's not a shot at him or anything, but it's just like, hey, like, I got booked for this. I had a game plan.
Yeah.
I had some shit, blah, 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 X, Y, Z. I was going to bring it in, like, at 25 minutes. I was going to do this.
The third time slot is your hard variable, though. You have to respect that.
Yeah.
If you pull a fucking Carnage on me, I'm going to throw you over the fucking stage.
Yeah. It took me a while. To, like, build confidence to be like, hey, dude, can I do my thing? Speaking
and
it took some some time, but
speaking of throwing someone over the stage, like, we can't even do that. We can't do anything like that. No, I
can't
totally
pick anyone
no.
up.
Well, I can definitely do it, but like being in the scene, I don't feel like you can become physical with anybody.
Never.
Anymore.
Oh no, hell no.
But
Never go physical.
Okay, come on, bitches.
Yeah, exactly. So it's very easy to give people more understanding here. And this is my mantra. Am I a nice person? I try to be. It's a choice. It's a choice for me to be.
He's very nice. Don't fuck with him.
Be this or that.
Yeah.
But it's always a choice. And
it really
if you want to play with people, you need to choose to play along and play together and have a decorum. Because being physical, being abusive, doing weird shit, playing music you were told not to play if you're at a higher level. So many things that are common sense things. Common sense is not common sense, but when you're a DJ, you are dancing on razor blades and sharp knives because so many things you have to do, but, don't get physical with people. Don't be weird.
Yeah,
you have to be respectful, and the best way to do that is if you're playing from 10 to 11, tell a person at 10:57 this is my last song, so they can get ready.
Yeah.
To kind of wrap everything up a little bit, it comes down to communication, right? Everything from the event coordinator to what's expected from the venue, what's expected from the promoter to what's expected for DJ to DJ, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have that communication, then what the fuck's the point of having a group chat? Just because we're liking everyone's
the G word.
Just because we're fucking liking each other's messages doesn't mean we're friends.
Yep.
And doesn't mean that we understand one another. But just because I didn't say something in the group chat and I say something to you in person and you take personal offense to that, it's not because I'm a dick. It's because we didn't have that conversation.
I'm trying to communicate with you. Your dumbass started the group chat before I was able to message you immediately.
But at the end of the day, I want people to listen to this conversation and be like, oh, it is just that, a conversation.
Yes.
It's not to point fingers at any one person who's doing anything wrong, because we're all doing a lot of things wrong. Individually and as a conglomerate.
We're all learning.
Right.
We're growing.
And like I said,
learning.
we're at the sophomore, junior year of everything. Everyone understands that they should get paid. Mm-hmm. But not everyone understands the value that they bring. And that's because people aren't telling them the value that they bring. That's true. And because they think, oh, I can keep them at a $50 rate.
But that's the thing. Being a young DJ, you don't know. So now you know. And another thing. Everyone needs to know I give them 3 chances.
Yeah, I give
3 chances.
I give everyone a fucking grace. I do because I want people to give me grace. I'm gonna fuck up. I'm gonna say some shit that people don't agree with.
But you agreed that I will tell you when you say something that I don't
sure.
like, right?
I love the conversation.
Yeah, that's
Tell
the
me
conversation.
I'm wrong when I'm wrong. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's my thing. Where I'm if I'm being vocal, I want if I'm being vocal, it's not to shut you up, but it's to start a conversation.
Yep.
But with that said, do you guys want to shout out your guys' Instagrams, everything else where they can find you and everything?
Yeah.
It's Ashley, that's me with 3 E's.
It's me, FLPN on Instagram. I'm FLPN.DJ on SoundCloud. I'm probably also FLPN.DJ. And just to go back to that little show I'm promoting, it's at the Continental, December 23rd.
Shout out to Continental.
Yes.
We're taking over the patio. It's me, FLPN or Flippin'.
Shout out Shannon.
Defiance and Rerun. And then in the main room, it's Too Hottie, Cardo, Frias, and DJ God's Law.
I love Too Hottie. He's fucking awesome.
Yeah. Everyone on that lineup is honestly, I know all of the people on that lineup.
Yep.
I just met you.
Oh, hell yeah.
You know what I mean? So
now you know him.
Yeah. So now I officially know everyone on that lineup. And dude, everyone pull up. That's on the 23rd?
On the 23rd.
On the 23rd of December. So everyone pull up to that. You guys can find me at George.Daniel __. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. That really does help us out in the algorithm. I know it seems like you're doing us a favor, and you are. But just fucking like that shit. And also, shout out to Liquid Death. You guys can find them at www.liquiddeath.com. Make sure you guys get your whole, dude, this shit is not that expensive.
It's really good. Don't let the name scare you.
Dude,
it's very good
out here. And dude, I've been mixing it with my tequila. Just do that.
Don't forget to buy it when you're at Shoreline.
Yeah, just do that shit. It's a fun thing. But yeah, we love you guys. Thank you for the conversation. This has been honestly. Oh, dude.
Thank you.
It was a very intellectual conversation.
Thank you for bringing him in order for us to have this conversation.
I just want to say from the both of you guys, honestly, I can talk, but I love to listen. I love to hear, and I love that so many ideas and things have so many parallels. And I love that it's a yearning for understanding, and I love that it's a yearning to be constructive. It's a yearning to say, no, let's not bash ego, let's understand it, but let's also put into check and say, we can work with ego, we can work with being based, and all work together and make the scene better and do everything better. So it's been an absolute pleasure, so thank you.
No, yeah. At the end of the day, dude, let's keep it plur. Let's fucking, you know what I
Let's
mean?
bring
Like,
Plur
dude,
back.
like, my thing is, like, I want to teach the younger
Make
generation.
America plur again, okay?
Dude, we out here just trying to make it plur again, dude. I remember fucking just walking up to randoms and they giving me bracelets. You know what I mean? Just like
Yes.
shit like that, dude.
I
We
have
don't have that anymore, and it pisses
Yeah.
me off.
Your outro theme would just be Party Rock, you know, by LMFAO.
Party
Rock!
Dude, but we
That
love
would
you
be
guys. Just please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. We love you guys, and peace.
Do it.
Deuces.
Mwah.
Oh God.
Hell yeah.